Welcome back to Gather the Gals podcast, where we keep it raw and real as we talk on topics in the different seasons that we all go through in life, knowing that we have been redeemed through Jesus Christ. Have you ever felt alone, and are you craving community with others? If you are a woman or a mama after God's heart and craving to know Him better while you're finding your own gals, then this podcast is for you. We hope you know that you are loved. Now let's dive in as we chat on topics, the real, the hard, the messy, and all of the fun that goes into being a woman of God. Let's grow in community in our relationship with Jesus. Hey y'all, welcome back to Gather the Gals podcast. I'm your host Lincoln, and today we're talking on loneliness. And I know that we've talked a lot about this before on some of the past episodes, and honestly y'all, they're like the top ranked episodes because we're all feeling lonely, and it's hard to get past that sometimes because we do live in a world that thrives on separation, division, or just, we don't have the time, right? Like a lot of us are moms, or even if we're not, we're busy, we're working. And the thing is we're working a lot nowadays, right? To keep up with everything and inflation and all of it, right? And so we don't have the time to just sit and take a minute, right? I'm like, how much, if I could see y'all right now and I just said, hey, raise your hand if you just need a minute, I guarantee you'd all be raising your hands. And that's the thing. It's like we pour into others every single day, our kids, our job, everybody, every day. Oftentimes we are left with nothing, an empty cup. And so I just want to pour into that cup today. And so just join me today, take a breath. I hope that you're able to just, whether you're listening to this at home, on their way to taking your kids to school, to work, whatever it might be, I hope that you're able to just find some rest, find some encouragement, and just understand that you're not alone. You're not alone in those feelings of feeling anxious or depressed or alone, or that you feel like you may not have any friends, or that you want to have better friends. And you, my sweet sister, are not alone. And so that is why I want to talk about this today. And y'all know that I like to do questions of the week in my stories on Instagram. And so many times it is like 100 to 0 of, yes, I'm lonely. Yes, I'm anxious. Yes, I need more friends. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm right there with y'all. Like, I am right there with y'all. And y'all know that I do this podcast because I'm in it with y'all. I'm living it. I'm a mom of 3. I work. I try to, manage a house. Like, my husband's gone a lot for work. Like, I'm in it, and we're in it together, sister. And so I just want you to know that you are not alone. And I hope you feel welcomed here. And please, please just subscribe to the podcast, and please leave a review. It just helps to get the word out there more to moms who need it, women who need it, whoever it may be. And so it really brightens my day when I see these sweet, sweet reviews that I get, even just the letters and the emails and the messages on Instagram, Facebook. Y'all are just so sweet and so supportive. And this is all I want in this community, is to just build this up and pour into y'all, because it pours right back into me. And so I just want to say thank y'all so much. So let's just go ahead and dive in. I feel like so many moms are just silently suffering in today's world. And you become a mom, and it's the greatest thing. You go through all these hormones. A lot of people experience postpartum depression. Y'all know my story. Y'all know my story on postpartum and just the struggles that I went through. And if you didn't, go check it out. There's one episode, I believe it's called The Birth Story of My Daughter. Go listen to that one. That's really just talking about my daughter, so my third baby, that postpartum. But really with each, I mean, you have a postpartum season with every baby, right? And it's either going to be good, all right, bad. I mean, it's always going to be something. And because, one, your hormones are going crazy, you may or may not have support. You're bringing home your first baby and you have no idea what you're doing. you bring home your second baby and you're like, okay, now I feel mom guilt because I don't have time with my first baby. And then you bring home your third baby and you're like, okay, how do I do this? And so I just want you to know, like I always tell you guys, you're not alone. And I'm sorry that you feel so alone and you are silently suffering. And it may be that you just need a minute out of the house. It may be that you just want time to talk to other adults and spend time away from those four corners of your wall that you have, looked at for so many weeks, so many months, and they just drive you crazy sometimes. And so, the irony of loneliness is that the more you avoid it, the more it occurs. And I know if you're anything like me, I, especially in nursing school, I would get into this like mindset of like, okay, I'm going to sit in my apartment, I'm going to study for 12 hours straight, and then I'm going to go to bed, and then I'm going to get up and I'm going to do it again. And I like didn't hardly see anybody unless I went to the gym. And it wore on me. And I'm like, what is going on? Like I am trying to get, whatever straight A's or whatever it is in nursing school 4.0. Studying, I was, scared of the test, scared of all the things, right? And nursing school is legit, it's hard. And so you have to study. I mean, they basically tell you you can't work, you can't do all this. And so I'm like, okay, but the thing is my brain was, all that it was taking in was just content, and it was never getting that outlet of like, I need to just, get other emotions out there. I need to talk to my friends, talk to people and things like that. You need to be around people. And so the more that you would put it off, or that I would put it off, it almost became of like, I'm set in my ways, I don't need it. But then it's almost like an internal feeling of like, you're like, okay, well, I do wish I had friends, I do wish I could go do something tonight. And so I just want you to like, take that with for what it is, of like, the more that you're avoiding, you know people, and if you're getting asked like, hey, do you want to go grab coffee, or hey, do you want to go to dinner, and you're saying no over and over, because I've been there and I've done that, y'all. And it's because it is hard, especially when we go through a season, like I said, of nursing school, where it was, you know, nonstop studying, and I didn't have that social time. And so then I get out of nursing school and I'm like, great, what do I do now other than work, right? And so it is hard, and we all feel that way. Like I've talked about in a past episode, we all feel awkward at times, especially when we, are getting to know a friend or meeting up with some girlfriends or whatever it may be. Everybody's going to feel awkward. I guarantee you, y'all, everybody's going to go home on that drive home, and they're going to be like, did I share too much? What did I say? Did I not say enough? Oh my goodness, did I sound awkward? Like, we just do that, right? Until you get to that break down of the walls and you're like, all right, this girl's my girl. Like, so just know that, and know that, just accepting that first invitation of like, okay, yes, I'll go to coffee, or yeah, I'll meet you at the park or whatever for the kids play date. Like, just do it. Just get out there and do it. Push pause on life's demands and escape to the Lodge on Twinkle Lane, a luxury rental home in the heart of Carlton Landing, which is a Hallmark storybook town 3 to 4 hours from DFW in the hills of eastern Oklahoma on Lake Eufaula. The Lodge is cozy, fragrance-free, and provides everything you'll need for a relaxing vacation. To help you plan your next trip to Carlton Landing, go to thelodgeontwinklerelane.com to receive our free vacation travel guide and use code GATHER10 to get 10% off your next stay. I want to give you just some tips and tricks to kind of just like help you see the light and loneliness and to break that. And so let's start with a few things of, like, why are we feeling lonely? So here is 4 or 5 things that we can really, just kind of walk through and things like that. So number 1 is separation. Maybe you are just feeling separated from friends, family. Maybe you recently moved, whatever the case may be. Separation in general, especially if you just, I don't know, moved away from your best friend. That is hard, because I remember myself growing up, like I had the same best friend, like from the moment that she moved in 4th grade, all throughout junior high and high school. And then we went to college and we were separated. And it was like a heartbreak, like a kick in the gut, and it's like, man, this is rough. And even to my husband, like we were high school sweethearts, and he was a year older than me. So he graduated first. And just that alone, that separation of like, wait, I have to do a whole nother year without you. Like, who is like, what? No, this can't be. Like, how can I graduate early? Right. And so that was just, it was hard. Like that, I felt that separation. And then you put Miles, right? Like he was like 3 hours away playing football in college. And I'm like, okay, this stinks. Like, not fun. And so just that separation in general is a huge factor that can play into loneliness. Another one is wounds or like pain, that maybe that have made us move far away from somebody. So maybe you've been hurt, like hurt in the past by a certain friend. And there's just some type of pain that you associate with connecting with others. That can definitely cause a sense of loneliness because maybe you don't want to go deep or be vulnerable with somebody else that you're maybe meeting. And so another one is apathy, and that is just the feeling of like, I don't care. You just don't care to have friends. Maybe you feel, just like I said, stuck in your ways. Like, I'm good. Like, I am great. My couch is comfy. My Netflix shows are endless. My pajamas are cute. And all I need is a cup of coffee and I'm great. And I get that too, y'all, because I mean, it is kind of nice to save a buck and sit on the couch and watch a good show. I get it. I've been there. I love it. But I just bear with me. Keep listening to this episode. Because I promise when you break out of that comfort zone, it's gonna get good, y'all. Another one is pride. Some people may feel like they are better than others, or if they move to a certain place and they don't feel accepted. That's one that I'm sure some people feel. I don't see it a lot, but that is one that can definitely, obviously, separate you if you don't feel included, or if you do feel like you're better than anybody. We'll just kick that one to the curb though. And so number 5 is just anxiety and depression in general. Maybe you just feel like unworthy. Maybe you feel like, I don't bring anything to the table. I have no hobbies or passions, or I'm not good at anything, so how should I be able to fit in? Or maybe you're like, again, you move to a new place and you're like, I know no one, I don't fit in here. And you just have those spiraling thoughts of, I'm not supposed to be here, or I'm not good enough, or what do I have that is going to help anybody, or I'm not funny enough, or I'm not tan enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not. These thoughts go round and around in our heads growing up as girls, for sure, and boys too. But I want you to just stop those thoughts. And I know it's hard. I know it is. But continue with me on this journey as we just, kind of chit chat about some of the stuff. And so, you know, those talks that are in our mind are going to devastate you, and they're going to grow, loneliness. You're almost going to resent yourself, because if you're thinking these thoughts over and over to yourself of, well, she doesn't like me, or that, we went out to lunch with that group of girls and I didn't really seem to fit in, or man, I don't wear the same clothes as them. You're going to start, thinking these things about yourself. And that's where we've got to stop that, because the thing is your worth is not found in what other people say. And so life is more than finding your worth in somebody else's opinion. Life is so much more than the everyday routine. It's so much more than the week to week. And life it's simply waiting for you to just make that turn and ditch that whole mindset that this world will give you exactly what you're longing for. Y'all, I'm here to say this world, like things and money and fame, even your favorite person in the whole world, whoever that is, your best friend, your spouse, your mom, your dad, your grandma, whoever it is, they're going to hurt you, y'all. Like, I don't know if that's happened yet, but it's going to happen, because we are man living in a fallen world, and people are going to fail us every single day. Somebody's going to. And if it ain't every day, every week, whatever. But that's the moral of the story is, people, you cannot put your hope and your trust and you can't put everything in a human, because that's not how God created it to be, right? Like I said, people fail us daily. And even, like I said, your best friend, your spouse, or whoever. And you know what, y'all? Inflation, that's another thing. Money, don't put your faith in money because inflation just keeps on going up and it's just hard as it is. And so we ain't going to get into that. But, trends, they change, fashion, all the things. I just actually bought some pants. And I tried them on and I was like, wow, these look great. I said, I look like I could be on the Fresh Prince. And so I don't know, hopefully y'all know what that show is, but I mean, I like them. They really do. I look like a 90s mom. And so I was born in the 90s. So, I don't know, just leave that there. But anyways, the moral of the story, trends are changing. Don't put your hope and your faith and all that and trends in this world because everything, you're never going to be able to measure up because everything's just going to continue to go. So number one is do not plan your life around money, around fame, around friends, or anything else that can be simply taken from you, gal. Like the only things that will never, ever, ever be taken from you is Jesus himself and his love for you. He says nothing can separate you from his love. And that is in Romans 8:38, I believe. And so just know that, y'all, like there is nothing you can do. And if I could just leave you with anything for this episode, there is nothing that you can do, have done, could do to take his love away from you. He's not going to turn his back on y'all. Y'all, he is like right there waiting, saying, come on, sis, like, let's do this. Like, let's go. Let's turn this life around. Let's get those negative thoughts out of your brain. Like, he loves you so, so much. And so I just want you to know, like, you're not too far gone. There is nothing you've done that is Jesus is like, peace, I'm out. Ain't having that one. It ain't happening like that, y'all. Like, that is not how he rolls. That is how these earthly people roll around here. That's why I say, do not put your trust and your hope in a man. And so, number 2, we're going to keep on rolling. And y'all, back up. Life isn't about like chasing others in general, right? Like, chase after Jesus. Like, it is really that simple. Like, he promises to care for us. And so, it's that simple, y'all. Like, chase after Jesus. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have felt loved and encouraged, and just know that you are not in it alone in this season that you're in. Please like and subscribe to the channel and follow us on Instagram. We are in it with you, sister.